Well, I think these kind of projects like the Divided History are vital in terms of developing and upskilling our teaching staff. Teachers are busy people, lots of initiatives, lots of change, so the more opportunity there is for somebody to hand them something that they can use quickly, easily, off the shelf, straight into the classroom, that's practical, that's been tried and tested, makes all our lives a lot smoother and a lot easier.
As a teacher, I think I've gained a lot from the Divided Histories project. Not only have I learnt new skills, but it's also given me the confidence to use them in the classroom. The project provided in-classroom support, which was invaluable, even though I'd had the training to actually deliver a lesson without the support. I imagined all these things going wrong. But with Matthew there, he gave me the confidence to deliver the lesson. For the pupils, it was a chance for some of them to try new technology. I was quite surprised. I thought that they would have all used Movie Maker before, but they hadn't. These skills could be used, in different subjects, but also it gives them the opportunity to be creative and to try out new ideas and be innovative.
When I was using the digital technologies, I was really into it. So it was because I'm like a really big tech head anyway, so I found it really interesting. It was a good way to learn about history. I prefer computers in general to just writing stuff out. It's easier for me to work with because I'm better on a keyboard than I am writing myself.
As a generation today, we are kind of glued to our phones and our iPods and our computers, so converting that into the classroom area is more enjoyable and fun for us than sitting and writing. For definite, I would like to see more classes like this used around the school, more technology used. It enables us to have more fun with the whole lesson instead of just sitting bored.
I didn't really know before I'd used the computers about the conflict here in Northern Ireland. I had a basic knowledge, but I didn't know as much as I did after. I think it's pretty important to learn what happened here because it's it's like history. It's why I'm here now.
The project will be really useful because later on there will be an opportunity to actually receive training on delivering controversial issues. I think it's very important that we do tackle the controversial issues and teach pupils about their own history.
It is also important that it's curriculum linked. It's not only staff in schools, but it's through organisations like SEER exam boards that work together. Shared education is that big buzzword at the moment, and these kind of projects are vital. You don't get much opportunity to break some of those barriers down, and a project like this is vital to keep that agenda on the forefront.
Teaching Divided Histories was a unique opportunity to look at the troubles in Northern Ireland. It's a time to allow the students to focus on what they can do in the future and how learning from the past has a massive impact upon what they can do in their future lives.
I think it's very important that people learn about the conflict in Northern Ireland. I teach politics at year 13 and 14. A lot of students have no recollection of what happened in the past 10, 15 years. I think it's very important that students see different perspectives upon the past and not just learn a one-dimensional perspective, which can be extremely dangerous. And I think I've found that by talking with other schools and other teachers that pupils now are definitely starting to look at the conflict themselves and having their own interpretation, looking at both sides of the story.
They will all be able to use digital technology in some way to develop a piece of work that reflects their opinion on events in Northern Ireland.
I definitely think that it's really important for us to learn about our past because it's only from learning from our past that we can move on to build a better future for everyone living in Northern Ireland, and it helps us to know what our parents grew up with and now what we're growing up with. Knowing about the conflict, it is still really important in Northern Ireland to know about other people's backgrounds and our backgrounds and what the differences really are.
I think digital technologies was a big draw. One is because I had to be the first to put my hand up to say that I wouldn't be the most able in all technologies. But I think as well, especially for the pupils, I think sometimes it can get very boring and mundane and dry by saying here's the notes. Whereas today we're using Comic Life, and I was able to give the pupils the background reading on the notes, and it was up for them to interpret what the demands were, why they had the demands, and using digital media in order to present that.
It's brilliant getting to use the computers to work because it's a lot more engaging, it's a lot more interesting. And then when you get to see other people's work, it's more fun to look at presentations in Windows than to just sit and read essays of each other's. It'd be great to use these projects throughout more subjects in school because you get to using ICT skills and computers as well as learning the topics that we're learning about in the subject.
In the calendar year, it's very, very difficult to get time to work with staff from other schools. So the cross-community element is hugely important. especially in the area that we live in here in Newry. It gave us an opportunity, first of all, to meet staff from all our schools, to look at what we are teaching and what they are teaching, to look at the similarities and differences in the techniques that they're using, but also just time to talk about the project.
I think everyone was on the same ground level, where you weren't going and feeling intimidated that someone else knew more than you in certain areas, which I think was brilliant. But also as well, I think the most important aspect is the students have learned from it.